How to lose weight in one easy step. Step 1.
Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1046. Directed by Sho Inuzuka from his and Katsumi Ishizuka's board, and supervised by Toshio Deguchi and Keita Saito. While the preview doesn't show much for our kickstart to this year of the anime, Inuzuka's debut as a storyboard artist is already looking like a strong one from what little we can see, on top of the fact that this starts off Katsumi Ishizuka's new job as an action storyboard artist that I'm chomping at the bit to see the results of after he stepped down from animating. Of course, not much point in talking about a preview that doesn't tease all that much of the episode's big goodies, so without further ado, will episode 1046 be the powerful kickstart to the year that we all want it to be? Let's spread our wings and fly to find out. This episode covers the rest of chapter 1022 and the first 9 pages of chapter 1023. And while I do very much like the additions made to the episode, like little Sanji and Zoro bickering and everything, I feel like the episode being one-to-one for the most part kinda hurts it more than anything. Because while the general flow of the content and structure stays the same, the anime has to obviously slow it down a peg at times, and that can lead to action that felt somewhat chaotic in the manga feeling a bit up and down in terms of tension due to when it appears and the tons of dialogue and a few bits here and there of other action. Now, mind you, that chaotic feeling that I got could largely be due to Oda's cramped paneling kinda giving me that sort of cramped feeling, but it just didn't really feel as breakneck as I imagined, and maybe if they did more with the action at hand other than what's on the page, and maybe even did some extra stuff with the Onimaru bits, it could have been a slight bit better. But regardless, the overall OST selection and just general direction does help the slower pace at points, and in spite of that, make sure that the moments and episode as a whole is pretty good all throughout. We got a small taste of his storyboarding abilities at the end of his first episode, episode 1005, but this is where we see Inuzuka's work in the flesh with his storyboard debut, and man is it good. It does have its fair share of shots that come off as flat or barren, and that can be a problem when added up with the slower pacing at points in the episode, but when it gets going, it produces some really awesome shots both in and out of fighting that uses color in its own unique way, and at times is actually quite faithful to the manga when it comes to reproducing Oda's not only artwork but angles as well. With a grab bag of ideas galore, especially in the flashbacks with Whitebeard and Marco and Onimaru, where the latter is just composited so well for something so insanely short in the grand scheme of things. Inuzuka is already on the right track with his own storyboards, and I can't wait to see what he can produce in the future for content that goes even harder than this. And of course, it's not the only storyboard debut this episode, as Katsumi Ishizuka has his first episode as a full-on action storyboard artist here. That is every bit as awesome as expected and leads us right into our final section for today. It's rare to have such an insane action set piece to damn near start an episode off, but the Zoro and Sanji combo attack boarded by Katsumi Ishizuka and animated by Chu Young-seo is a masterclass in how to do Oda's impactful spreads justice as always. With Chu following Ishizuka's smeary and absolutely balls to the wall board to a T, to the point where he even directly references his own art and effects traits at points, to really do Ishizuka's board justice by animating so many long and complex cuts to complete perfection, and in the way that everyone would have expected from a high-octane offering from the series' climax specialist, making me look forward to the rest of Ishizuka's action storyboards and leading in really well to the other action that we're greeted to here, from the likes of animators like Imi with his snappy and modern style being put to insanely good use when he pops up at several points this episode, all the while never failing to make a character speed into a Beyblade, effectively making 1046 a really good start to this year of the One Piece anime. I think there was potential for a bit more here, but I cannot complain when everything that this episode does have is done very, very well, and it's just yet another showcase of what bringing young talent to the forefront of things can do for certain content. And while next week's episode 1047 is certainly going to be a little less insane, as it's directed by Yutaka Nakashima himself for the first time in a while, which does indicate that it likely won't be absolutely polished, but Kazuya Hisada's art and animation should hopefully make what should be a transitionary episode of sorts between bigger ones a nice outing at the very least. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and I wonder if Matsuda or Nagamine had a say in that shot.